September's shaping up to be classic Apple, new iPhones, a new iOS look, and yes, a brand new model called the iPhone 17 Air. If you haven't heard of that one yet, you're not alone. Apple's quietly phasing out the Plus and bringing in something thinner, lighter, and possibly a lot more interesting. Here's what's happening: Apple's next iPhone event, most likely September 9th or 10th. That's not speculation, it's pattern recognition. Apple has been ridiculously consistent with iPhone launches since 2016, always sticking to early September. The only exception, 2020, thanks to the pandemic. So, here's how the timeline probably plays out. If the event happens on the 9th or 10th, pre-orders will open that same week, Friday the 12th or the 19th. Then, a week later, those phones start showing up at your door, likely around the 19th, or 26th. No surprises there. But what is a bit different this year is the lineup. We're getting for main models again: iPhone 17, iPhone 17 Air, iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone 17 Pro Max. Notice what's missing? No iPhone 17 Plus. Apple's cutting the large, non-Pro version, and instead, we're getting the Air. Now, Apple hasn't officially revealed what the Air branding means just yet, but if it follows the same logic as the iPad or MacBook Air, we can expect something slimmer, lighter, maybe with a slightly more refined design, but still sitting below the Pro in terms of power and price. That shift alone tells us a lot about where Apple is heading. Instead of just offering big or small, they're thinking more about how a phone feels in the hand, not just how it looks on a spec sheet. A thinner, lighter mid-range iPhone could appeal to people who want premium build quality, but don't care about all the extra camera tricks or raw power in the Pros. Now for those higher-end models, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, expect the usual jump in camera performance. That's almost a given. But also more RAM across the board and possibly a design shakeup, at least visually. One thing people have been asking about for years: high refresh rates on the non-Pro models. And this might finally be the year it happens. It's not confirmed, but if Apple brings 90Hz or 120Hz displays to the base models, that's going to make everyday use, scrolling, gaming, even just moving between apps, feel way smoother. For most people, that's a real, tangible upgrade. Now what about the iPhone 17e? If you were hoping to see Apple's next budget model, you'll need a bit more patience. That one isn't coming in September. Apple's saving it for spring 2026. It's the follow-up to the 16e, which quietly replaced the old SE series as Apple's budget option. So if you're holding out for something cheaper, it's going to be a long wait. But if you're looking to upgrade this fall, September's lineup has something for pretty much everyone, except maybe ultra-budget buyers. And even if you're not getting a new phone, there's still something to look forward to. iOS 6. It's single quotes LL. Roll out alongside the iPhone 17 launch and bring a refreshed look called Liquid Glass. If you've got an iPhone 11 or newer, you'll get the update. Early hands-on say it's a visual overhaul, smoother, more fluid animations, and a more alive interface. It's Apple's way of making old phones feel new again, at least in terms of software. So what does all this mean? If you're planning to upgrade, the window is pretty clear: mid-September pre-orders and phones in hand by the end of the month. And if you're still on the fence, the changes this year, especially the new Air model and possibly better base-level displays, could make it worth jumping in, even if you're not going Pro. For me, the Air model is the most interesting wildcard. Apple rarely introduces new categories within the iPhone lineup, so the fact that they're shifting branding like this and ditching the Plus says they're rethinking how people buy phones in that mid-tier zone. It's not just about size anymore, it's about weight, feel, and whether your phone feels like a chore to hold or something that just disappears in your hand. Bottom line, Apple's playing it safe with timing, but possibly bold with the lineup. September's not just another iPhone month, it's the start of a lineup rethink, and maybe a hint at where Apple sees the future of its non-Pro phones going. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.